I'm a trusting person. Are you? I think that friends should be trusted. All right. When something doesn't add up, I think it's important to ask a lot of questions and try to get down to the bottom of the confusion instead of just assuming you think you know what it is that they're up to. It's not necessarily something nefarious, and I think a lot of people tend to do that. I try not to do that with my friends. However, when it comes to people, business people, then I'm different. Then I suspect everyone, because those people come into your life because they're trying to either sell you a product or a service. So they're going to behave as if they're your friends, but they're not. Okay? I'm not saying it's impossible to forge a lasting relationship with somebody that you meet in the marketplace, but don't assume that that's what's going on. These people are trying to make money off of you. And same thing goes with employment. People that you meet at work are there because they're being paid to be there. And part of their job is to get along well with others. Now, people that are in the same class as you as at work that do the same things that you're doing, they have the potential to become your friends. But still, there's oftentimes a lot of office politics going on, and this is something that I have discovered in the legal industry. So if you are someone that is interested in becoming involved in the legal field, then hear me out, all right? Because I've been in that business many, many years, and there really is a separation of classes in that industry. If you work for or you are interested in working for a law firm, you're going to find that the attorneys are very cliquish, okay, or the attorney. They only associate with other attorneys, and attorneys, they have the reputation they have for a reason, okay? They are not your friends, okay? They never will be your friends. I know there's an exception to every rule, and there probably is one here as well, but I'm telling you, don't expect to get in good with the boss if your boss happens to be an attorney, all right? I went to law school. I know what it's like. The very first day of law school, people already schmoozing, trying to network, and law school isn't easy, and I can understand how a experience like that will bond people together, but it does. Attorneys are like this. They fraternize together. They don't mix it up with the help, okay? And that's how they see us, as the help, all right? And they also aren't very good to their clients. So there will come a time in your life that you're likely to need a legal service. And these are people that they need you, okay? They need their help to move the cases along, to make things happen, but to make it rain, essentially. But they also need their clients for the same reason. And so they're very nice to the clients, but I'm telling you, I see the ads on TV all the time. They are vying for your business, and a lot of times they get your case and then it just sits on a shelf for a very long time. And I'm just telling you, it is incumbent upon you to do your part to move that case along. What do I mean by that? You have to call periodically. You have to ask probing questions. Don't let people talk down to you. Even the legal assistants and paralegals may do that, okay? The attorneys do it to them, and the staff does it to clients. It happens. Don't accept everything's going to be fine, we know what we're doing. Don't accept that. These attorneys, they botch cases left and right. It happens all the time. all right? And it's not, they get angry, they get frustrated, but they eventually make it up on another case, okay? But the botched case could be yours, and it's the only case you have, all right? You can't make that up. If they screw up your case, not a good thing, all right? So the same thing goes in any business, all right? If you hire a contractor, check their background, if licensing is required in the state, make sure that they're licensed to do the work. That is important because these people are going to collect your money and run, and then it's going to be a nightmare trying to get the money back if you can get the money back. So make sure that you hired somebody that's qualified. There is probably a state bar in your state, so regarding attorneys, make sure they have a clean record. Don't go based on how they treat you in the very beginning. They're going to treat you really good because they need you to sign that contract. And always remember, you have 3 days to back out of the contract. So if you get a bad feeling in those 3 days, that's the time to bolt and find another attorney. After 3 days, you owe them fees and costs. Now you can go to another attorney, but they're going to be responsible to pay those attorney's fees and costs out of their fee. I mean, that's usually how it works. I'm not saying always, okay? So look at your contract. Usually that's how it works. Now you're thinking, okay, well, it's not coming out of my pocket, not a big deal. But if you're bouncing around from attorney to attorney, and the attorneys that have worked for you are going to send this huge bill, or there's going to be this huge bill that they're going to send to the new attorney, and then the new attorney isn't going to be willing to take your case if they think they stand to have to pay out a lot to this other attorney. So be mindful of that. If things aren't going right early on, that's the time to bolt. It's really hard to know in 3 days. You got to give these attorneys time to get the ball rolling. But I think if within a few weeks, if you're not being treated right, that's the time to leave. Now you will owe that attorney something, but it won't be nearly as much as if you were to wait months and months and months. So again, you can be trusting, but it needs to be to a limit. Trust your friends. Don't trust the people in the marketplace. I'm telling you, they're out there to make a buck. All right, and a lot of them are really focused on volume, getting a lot of business. They don't try to cultivate those few relationships they have. So if they go sour, they don't care. They have a lot of other clients to make up for it. All right, so don't be a statistic. All right, don't rely on professionals. If something doesn't seem right, make sure that you ask a lot of questions and make sure that the answers add up. If things don't make sense, there's probably something wrong. All right. My experience is mostly in personal injury. Those are cases where the attorney works on contingency, and they don't make any money until they get money for you. All right, so the more money they get for you, the more money they get for themselves. So they do have incentive to try to get you as much money as they can for you. All right, so when they try to get you an offer, or when they tell you that the insurance company, the defendant, whomever, has made their final offer, and they don't recommend you take the case to trial, you should probably take their advice. Always take your attorney's advice, but I'm just saying, because let me just say, I did go to law school, but I'm not saying I'm an attorney, and I'm not giving you legal advice. All right, that's not something that I can do. I'm just saying, use your head. If something doesn't seem right, then ask more questions. But one thing I also see that happens a lot with the personal injury cases is, people always talk to family members and say they hear stories about this person made this much money, and also recognize that in your personal injury case, when an offer is made, it includes attorney's fees and costs. The attorney in personal injury cases are not paid a separate fee from the source that pays for the claim. They don't get a separate fee. So if your attorney says, okay, I got you, let's say $30,000, usually they get a third of that. So when you divide that 30 by 3, they're already getting $10,000. And let's say they have $1,000 in costs. It's usually not that high, but that right there, that's an $11,000 more. So now you're down to $21,000, and then the medical bills have to be paid out of that. We probably went to the doctor. There's probably some bills that remain outstanding. All those have to be paid. All right. So don't go by what other people's recoveries have been. It means nothing. Your injuries are different from that person. Okay. So keep that in mind as well. So that is my bottom line. That is what I want to share with you today. Friends, trust. Again, ask a lot of questions when something doesn't make sense. All right, don't assume the worst about your friends, but always be very suspicious of people that are trying to make money off of you. They are going to behave in a way that makes you feel like they're your friend. Once they got your money, you're likely never to hear from them again, or they'll get frustrated, and then they'll do whatever it is you want. But they're not going to do it with that same enthusiasm as when you hadn't yet transferred money from your account to theirs. So I appreciate you hearing me out, and if you have more questions, go ahead and let me know. This is something that I can talk about endlessly for hours on end. So I have a lot more to say about it, but I need to keep this, short. Your time is valuable. But I do appreciate the time that you spent with me today, and I hope you will be back for more of the same. All right. Thank you. Have a good one.